Good morning, students.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
So now we will resume our discussion of Python variables. Do you all have any doubts? So far is clear. Variable, as you know, is a memory location where values are stored. And in Python, uh, apparently you don't give any uh, type or data type to the variable. Instead, the interpreter would assign the type based on the value. This is what we learned. Counter is a variable, is equal to 100 means you are initializing some value, and print is a function. Print counter means it will print the value of counter, which is 100. Let us do one thing. Let us um, what to do here. Okay, selection is not happening. Anyway, let me show you. Let me type and execute. Okay. Okay, before that, let us finish off this topic. Then we will go to the environment to execute. In Python, simultaneously, you can assign a single value to multiple variables. Look at here, A equal to B equal to C equal to 1. 1 will be assigned to A, B, and C, all the three variables. And this is another way of assigning. Using a single assignment operator, you are assigning 1 to A, 2 to B, and John to C. This is also possible. Okay, that is also possible in Python. Simultaneously, you are assigning A, B, and C. There are three variables, and here you see there are three values. All right, so two integer objects are assigned to A and B, and one string object is assigned to variable C. What are the standard data types in Python? There are 5 standard data types: numbers, strings, list, tuple, dictionary. Numbers, you know, they are numeric values. Number data types store numeric values. There are two variables here, var1, var2. Numeric values are assigned 1 and 10. How to delete the reference to these variables, to these objects? These are actually the objects, are called as objects in Python. These are the variables. To delete these variables, you can use del statement. Using del, you can delete single or multiple variables at a time. And you please observe there is no semicolon at the end of the line. Python does not require semicolon at the end of the line. And a single object or multiple objects can be deleted using del statement. Here example is del var, del var underscore a, var underscore b. Here you are deleting one single variable. Here you are deleting two variables. Uh, in a numerical data type, there are three types: integer, float, and complex. Integers are signed integers, floating point real values, and complex numbers. Integers examples are given here: 10, 100, minus 786, 080, minus 490, and these are hexadecimal values. 0x, if a number begins with 0x, it is a hexadecimal value. These are integer examples. These are float examples. Float examples are real numbers, which has integer part and fraction part. 0.0, 15.20, minus 21.9. These are floating point numbers, and you see here this is scientific representation. We learned mantissa and exponent. Whatever is before e, it is mantissa. Whatever is after e, it is exponent. So it is minus 32.54 into 10 to the power of 100. All right. These are complex numbers. Complex numbers have this 3.14j. These complex numbers will have two parts. We'll see with the examples. Here in this example, okay, there is no program. We'll see programs also for all these, but let us try to understand Python strings. Strings are a set of characters represented in quotation marks, and substrings can be uh, extracted by using slice operator. These are known as slice operator. The brackets. These brackets are known as slice operators with respect to strings. They are used to extract substrings, part of strings. And the indexes for strings start at 0, which mark the beginning, and minus 1, uh, it is the beginning from the end. Suppose if it is Nizam, this is our string. This will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And from the end, it starts with minus 1. So both the ways you can access: minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5. From behind, from the end, it is minus 1, minus 2, and from the front, it is z. It begins at 0. Okay. Do you understand this? If you have any doubt, please ask. This is a string, Nizam, and its indexes would begin at 0 in the forward direction, and its index would begin at minus 1 in the reverse direction. There is a plus sign, which is a string concatenation operator. String concatenation means what? If I say Nizam plus college, it is concatenating, joining, combining these two strings. This is concatenation operator in Python. Asterisk, this is a repetition operator. If I say Nizam asterisk 2, means 2 times Nizam would come. Nizam, Nizam. Okay, example program is given here. String str is hello world. It is within single quotes. You can have strings in single quotes, or you can have in double quotes as well. Print str, it prints complete string. You get the output as hello world. The output is here. This is the entire string would be printed. Uh, in case a particular character from the string is to be printed, you can use the index, and you have this slice operator, these brackets. Str of 0 means it prints the first character, which is h. Str of minus 1, what does str of minus 1 would print? If it is print str of minus 1. Will anyone tell me?
T, ma'am.
Right side first character.
Right side first character. Very good. So here this one is the right side first character, this one is the left side first character, this is the beginning, this is the end, but from end also you can begin. And this is printing the characters starting from third. 2 means because it begins with 0, 0, 1, 2. Actually 2 is the third character, right? So third character is what? 0, 1, 2. This one, L. So L third means second. Third, you see here, LLO is the output. This is output of H. Why you get LLO? Here this is second one, second, third, fourth. Second, third, fourth, fourth. You know what happens? This 5 means 5 is not inclusive. 5 is exclusive. 5 is not included. If you say 2, 2, 5, it begins at 5, begins at 2, ends at uh, one character before 5. So 5 is not inclusive. And this is 2 colon, there is nothing here. You have 2 colon and here you have nothing, blank. It means last character, till the last character. Start at second character, which is actually the third one in the string. Start at that, end at the last. If you don't specify anything, it is last. And str asterisk 2 means print whatever is the value of this one 2 times. Str plus test means concatenation, combining. So this is beginning at 2 and till the last. This is 2 colon. This is 2 colon 5. This is 0. And this one is str into 2. Into 2 means 2 times same string would be printed. Hello world, hello world. And this one is str plus test. This is concatenation. Repetition, concatenation. Okay, hello world, concatenated means combined with the test. Okay, then we have Python lists. Lists are the most versatile Python's compound data type. And list contains items separated by commas and enclosed within square brackets. Please remember that list is a extremely important type in Python. Lot of operations you can perform on lists. So list is enclosed within brackets. These are brackets. Okay. Please remember that there are some names given. These are brackets. These are braces. These are parentheses. Okay. So within brackets, square brackets. These are also called as square brackets. So square brackets, whatever is there in that, all the values separated by comma is a list. And then not really, but to some extent, lists are similar to arrays in C, but not exactly. Arrays will store similar type values. List would store dissimilar type of values. So the difference is items belonging to the different data type can be stored in list, whereas item belonging to the same data type stored in arrays in C. And the value stored in a list can be accessed using slice operator. This is a slice operator which we learned while discussing strings. Same thing applies here. And the index begins at 0 in the beginning of the list, and working their way to end, it is -1. From the end, it is -1. Plus is the concatenation operator. Asterisk is the repetition operator. This is an example program. Code snippet actually, or you can call it a program as well, because Python, only this one you can directly execute in Python. If it is in Java, you have to have that public class, class name and all. Here directly this part you can execute. List is equal to, here you are declaring the list. You observe here, these are square brackets, open and close. Within square brackets, you please observe this is ABCD. It is a string type. This is a comma. This is a integer, comma, float, comma, string, comma, again float. You observe here this list has got values of different types. Okay, and there is another list, tiny list. In this tiny list, there are only two elements. In list, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements. Here you have 2 elements. Print list. Print list means what happens? It prints a complete list. What is the complete list? A, B, C, D, 786, 2.23, John, 70.2. This prints this one. List of 0 means it prints the first element. What is the first element? A, B, C, D. So this would print A, B, C, D. 1, 2, 3 means what it prints? Will anyone tell me 1, 2, 3? This is 0 and this is 1. It prints, it starts with 1. So 1 is 786. 1, 2, 3. 3 means 3 is exclusive. It prints 1 and 2. That's it. 3 is not included. All right. And then 2 colon means start with 2. From here it begins up to the end. Okay, here. And then tiny list into 2 means print 1, 2, 3 John twice. Here you see 1, 2, 3 John, 1, 2, 3 John. List plus tiny list, this is concatenation operator. This is repetition operator. Repetition means it repeats. Concatenation means it combines. Here list has got 5 elements. These are combined along with these 2 elements from the tiny list. These are merged. Okay. This is about lists. Python tuples. We will anyway study all of these in detail. Right now, for you to have an idea so that we can execute programs, this is the introduction. Tuple is a sequence data type. Event list is a sequence data type. It is similar to list. A tuple consists of number of values separated by commas. However, tuples are enclosed within parentheses. Parentheses means this. Lists are enclosed in square brackets. And tuples are enclosed in parentheses. The primary difference between list and tuple is, however, this is not the primary difference. The primary difference is that tuples are read-only lists. Read-only list means you can, once you create them, you cannot modify them. Students, in Java, you might have learned about mutable and immutable. Will anyone tell me what is the difference between mutable and immutable?
Mutable in the sense changeable.
Yes, very good.
Immutable means it is like constant. We cannot change that.
Right, absolutely. In the context of types in Python, lists are mutable, tuples are immutable. This is the main difference. Essentially, you can call its representation also the difference. Lists are enclosed within square brackets and tuples are enclosed within parentheses. This is also one difference in the form of its representation. However, having said that, the primary property of list is that it is mutable, whereas tuple is immutable, which is read only. It is like constant. So tuple is here you are declaring uh, exactly similar to list, same values you see. And tiny tuple also same values. Everything remains the same, except that if you try to add some element to this tuple, it won't allow. That we will see later how it won't allow and how list allows. But right now, just try to understand the basics. This is the declaration of tuple along with initialization. And then here we are initializing tiny tuple to 1, 2, 3 and John, the two elements. And observe here, this is opening parenthesis and closing parenthesis. And in between you have the tuple values. Same, print tuple of 0. This is the first element. 1, 2, 3 begin at 1 and end at 3 minus 1, which is 2. This is begin at 2, end at last. Tiny tuple into 2, this is repetition, this is concatenation. Here it is shown that because tuple is immutable. When you try to update a tuple, it will not allow. Observe here, tuple and lists are created. This is tuple and this is list. Now you're trying to modify an element. Which element? 0, 1, 2, second element. From 2.23, you want to make it 1000. Tuple of 2 equal to 1000, this is not valid statement because tuples are immutable. Once you create, they become constant and they are read-only. Whereas a list allow it, and 2.23 is changed now to 1000. This is valid statement. Another important type in Python is dictionary. Dictionary are a kind of hash table values. Students, will anyone tell me what are the data types, or what is the data type of indexes of list and tuple?
String.
Indexes. Indexes
Zero,
here use
0 and minus 1.
what is the data type? What is their data type?
Number.
Number. Okay, number. And more specifically, it is integer. Right? Whereas
Yes.
in dictionary, you have strings as key. Strings can be a part of key as well as value. Means indexes can also be strings. Whereas in list and tuple, indexes cannot be strings. Indexes can be only integers. Can be 0, 1, 2, 3 or -1, -2 and -5 and all. The signed integers. Dictionaries, you can have, here it is given, dictionary is enclosed in curly braces. All right. Values can be assigned and accessed using square brackets. When a particular value is assigned or accessed, you have to use square brackets. Whereas when you are creating it, you use curly braces. DICT is equal to, this is an empty dictionary. All right. Now you are creating a value in this dictionary, DICT, and you see this is index. And index is a string within single quotes 1. And value is also a string within double quotes. This is 1. And here the index is 2, numeric 2. The value is string. This is 2 within double quotes. You please observe, dictionary can have both as indexes, integers or strings. And To create a dictionary and initialize the value at the same statement, this is the syntax. You open curly brace, and then this is the index name, within a single quotes, colon. This is the value. So this is known as key value pair. This is known as key, and this is known as value. Here the key is name, value is John, both are strings. Here the key is a string which is code, and the value is number, an integer. The third element is having a string as the key and string as the value. Any combination is possible. Print DICT of 1. What does it print? 1 is the key. What is the value? Value is this is 1. So the output for this will be this is 1. Print dictionary 2. Here 2 is the key. Value is this is 2. The output will be this is 2. Print tiny dictionary. It prints entire thing. Name, John, code, this, department, sales, everything. Whatever is there within tiny dictionary, all the elements gets printed. Print complete dictionary. Tiny dict dot keys. What are the keys in this tiny dict? Anyone please tell me?
Name, code,
Name, code, and DPT, ma'am.
Very good. Name, code, DPT are the keys. So to access keys, to print all the keys, only keys, there is a function called keys. A tiny dict is this, a dictionary, and this dictionary has got this function keys, and you see empty this parenthesis means it is a function. It prints all the keys, and if you want values, you print dot values means it prints all the values. Here the output would be name, code, DPT, and here the values will be the output of this is John 6734 sales. All right. Now, okay. One important point to note here is that dictionaries have no concept of order among the elements. You see here, although we have created name as the first element, but in the output, DPT is appearing to be the first. Okay, so here the elements are not ordered, whereas in lists and tuples, elements are ordered. And the significant point here to note is in lists and tuples, you don't specify the key or the index, because by default this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, 3, and 4. You need not say 0 : value. In dictionary, specifically you are mentioning which is key and which is value, and therefore it doesn't matter also if they get printed not in the order in which they are created, because we know sales is for department. So if department and sales appear first, second, or third, it is immaterial. What is important is whether department and sales are appearing together or not, because they both are key value pairs. Please note down these all important points. Anyway, I'm underlining. I will share these documents with you all. Conversions can be done, as you might have learned about type conversion or data type conversion. You can convert a value of one type into another. So that is also possible in Python by using int of x. So convert x to an integer. Okay. Suppose if you say int of within single quotes 5. Actually, because it is within single quotes, it is a string. It is a character. It's not number. But if you say int and within quotes 5, it converts this into normal 5, means number 5, not string 5. Float X, it converts X to float. Complex means it creates a complex number which has a real and imaginary. These are the uh, um, type conversion functions: convert to string and convert object to an expression. This is expression in string format. Evaluates a string and returns an object. Converts to tuple, converts to list, converts to set. Besides having list, tuple, and dictionary, it also has set. Uh, we will study as we go along. Dictionary, there is also another type which is frozen set. This is set, frozen set. CHR, convert integer to a character. Okay, if I say 5, it will be single quotes 5. This is Unicode character. This one is single character to integer value, hexadecimal value, octal value. Those are all conversion functions. Let us quickly execute the programs. That way you will understand. This is my local Anaconda. I have installed Anaconda in my local machine, in my laptop, and this is a navigator, and I have these environments I have created. You go to environments, and you in the beginning when you install, you will have only base or root. When you select that base or root, you get this small arrow. You tap on that and then open with Jupyter Notebook. Select this fourth option, open with Jupyter Notebook. When you open this with Jupyter Notebook, in the browser, this notebook will be opened. Sorry, it's not notebook, this page will be opened. This is the home page of Jupyter. All right, and here you can create a new Python 3 file, or you can create a new Jupyter file. You can upload. You can perform various options. Same we can do in Colab also. I will show in both. Here I have created some file. So this one I have created like Python. These are the keywords in Python. A variable. How to create a variable? The syntax is variable name equal to value. Example is num equal to 10. If you want to add a new cell, these are known as cells. If you recall, these are known as cells. I want to add one more cell here. So what I can do is I can click on plus. Here this is local environment. In the Colab, it will be slightly different, but it's almost similar. Here I can type str equal to hello world exclamation. Okay. How can I run this? In order to run this, I can click on this run, or okay, this is old version. In new version, you get here one small arrow. On clicking that, this cell will be executed. I think I installed it last year, so I have the old version. So I can run using this run button, or there are keys, no? Shift enter or control enter. You can say control enter or shift enter to execute. So now I am clicking on run, and look at this, this is executed. After it gets executed, here this is the number, means the first cell that got executed. This is the first cell that got executed. Actually, we'll do one thing here. We will restart and clear output. Okay, restart and clear output. This notebook is started from the beginning. Let us make this markdown cell. There are two types of cell, code cell and markdown cell. Markdown cell are like a comments cell, which are not executable. Code cells are executable. Here, this is just a markdown cell. Look at here. Are you able to see, all of you? When I click on, when I am just selecting this by clicking on it, clicking anywhere on this. I click anywhere on this, it gets selected. After it gets selected, it shows here which kind of cell it is. It is markdown cell. This is markdown cell. This is also markdown cell. And this one is also markdown cell. This is also markdown. And this one also I made as a markdown cell, which is showing the syntax for the variable. Now this is the, here you see code. Means this is the, here, executable cell. Which is executable cell? This num equal to 10. This one is executable cell. Now I'm running it. Because Python is a interpreted language. It converts at this line and executes. Because there is no print statement, nothing will be printed. If there is any print statement, or if you write the variable name, here I can write num, then what it gives? Look at here, this is 2 now. Means this is the second line that is executed. When I executed for the first time, this was 1. Now this is 2. As you go on executing these cells, these line numbers will be incremented. So it is 10. This is one way of printing. Another way of printing is print of num. Again, I am running. You observe here. Now it got 3. And you see here, only we are getting once 10. Why not twice? Because this num will be executed and printed the value only if it is the last statement. If there is any other statement following it, it will not execute. It is like not having anything. That's why you are getting print num only once. This num is ignored. Okay, so if I am deleting this and now I am running, again it's same. Okay, now it is incremented to 4. Means this line I executed for 4 times. Means total number of cells executed are 4. It is not line wise, it is total. Here now I am executing. So it got executed and it is incremented to 5. But then it is not printing anything. Now I want it to print this. Okay, then strings. This is for numbers. This notebook is for numbers. So let us do for strings. Let me add one cell here. str. Let us print print str of 0. Okay, and then print str of -1. Then print str of 2:5. Then print str of 2:nothing. Means till last. Str into 2. This is repetition. Str plus concatenation. Python. Okay. Let us now execute this code cell. Run. Run means you got the output. Look at here. str0 means H. str-1 means this right side, the last character, which is exclamation. 2 to 5 means start with the 2, 0, 1, 2, which is L. 2, 3, 4, 3 characters. Okay, it is 5 minus 1, which is 4. So 2, 3, 4. This is 2 till last. This one is repetition. Hello world occurs twice. This is concatenation. str hello world add to combine with Python. This is about strings. In other programming languages, this is also, let me change to Markdown. In other programming languages, syntax is data type variable name is equal to value. But in Python, it is just variable name equal to value. Let us execute it. It is 10. Number 1, NO1 is 10. Number 2 is also 10. This is multi-variable initialization with the same data.
Ma'am, someone wants to join. Can you please accept them?
Yeah, sure. These are two variables, NO1, NO2. Number 1, number 2 equal to 10 means both will get 10 as value. So number 1 is printed, number 2 is printed, both got 10 value. Here multivariable initialization with different values. Number 1 would get 2, number 2 would get 3. Number 2 is 2 and number this one 2 is initialized to number 1 and 3 is to number 2. And then this is number 1, number 2. Here directly we are swapping. You know how, what is the meaning of swapping here? Will anyone tell me?
Interchanging.
Yes, can you repeat?
Interchanging of elements, ma'am.
Interchanging. In C and Java, how do you write that interchanging values code?
In two ways, ma'am.
Hmm.
By using a third variable or else first addition then subtraction,
Very
that
good,
method.
very good. Here you see in Python it is so simple. You just say, if you say number 1 comma number 2 is equals to 4 comma 7. So number 1 is 4, number 2 is 7. And now number 1 comma number 2 is equals to number 2 comma number 1. Now number 2 is 7, so now number 1 would get 7. Number 1 is 4, so 4 is, it's such an easy way to swap. This I am now executing by pressing Shift Enter. If I use Shift Enter, it executes this line and go to next line. If I press Control Enter, it won't go to next line. So Shift Enter and again Shift Enter. So 7, number 1 is 7 now, number 2 is 4. Addition, just a normal values also you can give and get the addition. Number equal to 5. ID of number means this is the object number. This number is there, no? This number is referring to this object, which is 5. Using ID function, you can print the ID of any variable. number 1 equal to 5, ID of number, you see here, if the values are same in Python, if two variables are initialized to the same value, then it does not create two separate memory locations. It just makes both the variables point to same location. That's why here you got same ID. Look at here, same ID. This is NO, NO equal to 5. ID of NO is something. NO1 equal to 5. ID of NO1 is same. Compare this one with this one, both are same. This is possible because of Python's feature of saving the memory. NO is pointing to a object 5. Now NO1 is created. NO1 also has 5, so both will point to 5. And the ID of this is that 14070 and so on. Okay, please remember this is also a very important feature and very nice feature of Python. Now when you are changing the number 2 value, no, number 2 is 6. Its ID is different because its value is 6. And you see here it is incrementing cell numbers. Python is dynamically typed because you don't assign data type. By default, it takes the type based on the value. Okay, you know about these rules, how to name a variable. And these are all the keywords. Are these the keywords? No, these are not the keywords. These are the variables. We have created str and I think others also have been created. eBay, it is giving error because eBay is not defined. Number 1 equal to 6, number 1 equal to 7, number 1 you are printing. Data types, here number equal to 2, number equal to this value, you are printing that high, very large value. And integers can have binary, octal and hexadecimal. If you have 0 and B prefixed to a number, then it is a binary number. You see here this one 0B denotes that this one is a binary number. And then if you are printing number, it is equal to 10. It converts and prints it in decimal form. And this is octal number, this is hexadecimal number. But when you are printing, it prints in decimal form. This is a floating point number. This is a Boolean number. True and false are Boolean values. This is a complex number. And it has two parts, real and imaginary. So 2 and 3. 2 is real, 3 is imaginary. This is 4 plus 8j, means these two complex numbers you are adding. This is a string. Here you are taking input. How to take input? To take input, there is a function called input, empty parenthesis, and this is converting whatever I enter. It will get converted into integer form and stored in number. I have entered 5. 5 gets printed. Here I have entered 6. And number 1 plus number 2 is 11. What is the type of number 1? It is integer. Type is a function. This function will print the data type of the variable. And here this is float 2.5, and then here 1.3. No, this is boolean, no? Okay, true. And then this is print hello, printing hi hello. Printing real imaginary. I think I did the same thing again. So these are printing it in binary. If, to print 10 in binary form, there is a function called bin. Otherwise, it gets printed in decimal form. Here you see a is initialized to 10, and just print means decimal. If you want binary, you have to use bin. And then this is octal. Printing that octal number in binary form. Okay, now this notebook is over. All the cells have been executed. Students, do you have any doubt in this notebook? This Jupyter notebook? This one you
No.
execute on collaboratory. Collab. All this today you execute on collab. And if you have any doubt, you please ask. Meanwhile, I will take down the attendance. You try, all of you. 1, 3, 6, 7, 9. 10, 11, 14, 15, 21, 26, 27, 30, 32, 35, 36, 40, 41, 42, 44, 45, 47, 54, 57. Okay, students, I have taken the attendance. Any doubts so far, whatever we have completed? Any concept?
No, ma'am.
Have you started using collaboratory?
No, ma'am. Today we'll start.
Today you will start.
Yeah, ma'am.
You can do programming in PyCharm also. See, in PyCharm, it will be more like writing a complete program and executing. This also I will show you later. But today I used Jupyter Notebook in my local machine. I can upload this and I can share this. I'll do one thing. I'll upload this notebook on my Google Drive or on my Colab, and then I will share this and give the link in the group. You all start executing this program. Okay, then students, see you all tomorrow at 9 o'clock.
Okay, ma'am.
Bye.
Bye, ma'am.